What is going on, everybody? My name is Cutter Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Movie Mondays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit-chat about everything to do with film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meehan. Shaun, how's it going?
Doing good, Connor. A little bit sleepy today, I'll be honest. I was at a party for a film last night, in fact. Getting some scoops. It's coming out on Netflix soon. It's about a dragon and he's very nice. He's a very polite, nice dragon.
And what's it called?
It's called My Father's Dragon.
Oh, okay. Free advertising.
Yeah, well, Netflix is doing a lot of regular advertising.
I think they might not need you.
No, my girlfriend worked on it, and it's a very good film. They had a cake shaped like the dragon. It was really fucked up that I had to eat the dragon because he's a very nice dragon. He's voiced by the kid from Stranger Things.
Cool. Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah. No, the other one.
The other one.
Gaten Matarazzo.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, look, I think that's movie based. I think that's pretty good. You were also at a comic book writers event this morning, so that's pretty cool.
I was. Declan Shalvey, the dude he drew Moon Knight, the 2014 run, which is what the Disney Plus series base a lot on. So I've been doing the legwork, Connor, in terms of comic book movie news.
You're kind of like our reporter out in the field, because to be honest with you, I haven't left my house.
Do you know what? I'm jealous, honestly, because I'm wrecked, lad. I'm shattered. I've had 2 social engagements this weekend. It's broken me.
Takes it out of
you. Need to recharge my social battery.
So, Shaun, this is Movie Mondays. It's one of those weeks where we had the amazing thing happen to us, as it tends to happen, is that we released last week's Movie Mondays episode, and then a certain piece of news dropped on Tuesday, which was involving a man with 3 claws who's very angry, and you text me on WhatsApp and was like, what the fuck? Why on Tuesday?
Every time, consistently, those fuckers announce major developments on a Tuesday. I don't understand it.
So we are going to have to, I do realise it's nearly a week old, we are going to have to touch on it like it's the first time we're all hearing about it, because this episode only comes out once a week and we can't just have like an emergency episode on the Tuesday.
What if we just did like a 5-minute episode every time something newsworthy
just really
happened?
Quick thoughts? Just completely ruin the whole concept of the big show.
No, yeah, like scrap Movie Mondays. It's just like at random points during the day, I'll just like send a voice note to you. You do your thoughts on that, and we'll put that up on Podbean for everyone.
Is that good? That's we seem to be losing listeners. I don't know why, Shaun.
What's happening here, lads?
We're putting more content ever before. So if you could give us a like and review, whatever podcast platform that you're listening to this on. But Shaun, we've got to start in the MCU, but not where you want to start, because Blade director leaves the MCU project. Script reportedly is in trouble and it's hindering film.
My God. That's a DC level news story that we're getting there from Marvel.
It's been a while since we got one of these from the MCU.
It has. I think we've had directors leave and like things like that and changes made, but never has the thing been like, no, the script is just bad. Like, it's not working. Like,
Mahershala Ali is signed on to be Blade. It all looked, I mean, from the outside, for us, for the last year or so, it's looked pretty solid. I mean, like, Oscar-winning actor. You've got a great history of good movies. The last Blade movies, pretty good. Other than the third one, let's not get into it. But they were going to bring him into this world, and then hopefully they were going to have like a weird like underground vampire area of MCU. Which, I mean, why not? Let's do it. And then maybe introduce the Midnight Suns and all that stuff. But this news is kind of, it's actually caught me off guard, because I was just like, I just assumed that it was going to be good.
Yeah, it's like the child who you don't really worry about too much. Like, they'll be grand, they'll do their own thing, and they'll come home and do their homework. But it's like, Blade is not the one that I foresaw being a problem, at least from a scripting perspective or a production side of things. I thought that one would be fairly locked down, Yeah. How far into making Blade are they?
They are a few weeks before filming. They were meant to start filming in November.
Right, and they now have no director and a script that's been thrown up in the
Apparently,
air.
the script is only roughly 90 pages long and features exactly 2 lackluster action scenes, says one insider.
So the general rule as well with scripting is that it's about a page a minute. For film. So you're talking Blade being a 90-minute MCU film.
Which Mahershala Ali said to be very frustrated with the process of what's going on. And the thoughts behind this is, obviously, this is a rumour, but it said that Kevin Feige may be spread too thin, that he can't get to all of the places at once. And so maybe this has slipped under the radar, because like ourselves, you were like, right, look, I think this is going to be good. We can kind of leave them to it.
Maybe, yeah, because he's been like doing all this like multiverse balancing and everything like that over the last few films. He was like, oh, the one about the vampire killer, that'll probably just be okay.
They can't mess that up. That's locked in. That's
surely
solid.
not. But like, it's... I wonder where you go from here, because presumably they'll just have to do a full rework of the script and then get the new director in.
Bassem Tariq was the director who was on it, and he's been on it for obviously since the announcement. So it's actually quite strange that like you start filming in November, you've got a 90-page script that nobody's happy with, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to leave. Now, obviously, they've been doing a lot of press releases over the last week to like cover this up. Like, it was perfectly fine. He just had scheduling conflicts. You know how it is. He had other things on, so he couldn't do a Marvel MCU big movie with Blade. You know, he just had to, do a smaller movie for less money.
Yeah, The thing is now is that they're getting a replacement. Is do you get someone just safe, who's competent enough to do the job, essentially?
Yeah, it's meant to release November of next year.
That's not happening.
That's not happening now, because they have to now film it, edit it, and put it out for November of next year. That's lunacy. They're not doing that in a year and a month.
Yeah, no, I don't think they can turn that around, honestly. Not in a particularly good way. I also think there was a kind of a lot riding on Blade for Blade to be good, because it would be like, it's the new cornerstone of like that more, the supernatural, like demon devil stuff of the MCU.
And I think to bring that in, I mean, up until this point, they've been pretty rock solid. Like, you got Mahershala Ali in Oscar-winning actor, pretty good at his job, right? You get some writers behind it. You've got Blade. I mean, you have a whole history of storylines to choose from as well. There was no reason this couldn't be the cornerstone that they wanted it to be. It wasn't going. There's no weak link. It's not like Jared Leto is leading this, and we're like, not sure the leader.
Yeah. What? Okay. Now, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, right? Maybe they get Matt Reeves in to direct a Blade film.
Everyone just wants Matt. He's wrecked.
He's a hot commodity right now.
Can I just say, I read a tweet, and I don't want to take credit for this idea, because I read a tweet and genuinely it blew my mind that Kevin Feige get in the money truck, the truckload of money that he drives around, I can only assume, to all of these projects, drive it straight up a long driveway. Oh, who opens the door but Jordan Peele, and dump so much money on Jordan Peele's garden to be like, Jordan, we want you to do Blade.
It's kind of horror. You love horror, Jordan.
Kind of horror, and you could even do some racial overtones, undertones as well for him coming into the Marvel MCU, and you're literally the most qualified person in all of Hollywood to do a movie like this.
Would Jordan Peele do an MCU?
No,
do you think? Yeah,
but I mean, he's probably doing some other fucking amazing film that he's just making up out of his own head. But I could not get that idea out. Once I read it once, I was like, yeah, Jordan Peele's the perfect human being to do this.
That is very true. I would really like to see that. We're definitely not going to see that.
No.
Like, I don't. I'm trying to think of any. Get Greta Gerwig in. She'd probably give it a good shake.
There's no way, especially Jordan Peele would sign on now without like wanting to rewrite the whole script, and he's definitely not doing November 2023 release date. He's like, we're releasing this in 2025, and you're giving me free rein at a year and a half to write the script. That's the only way I'm doing this.
Yeah, because like there's got to be. Like, because the next 3 years of the MCU are fucking packed.
Yes, so jam-packed.
There's not a huge amount of wiggle room on where stuff can go. And then you'll have to, like, release one thing early if you want to push back. Like, it's a whole mess that's going to happen.
But
I also like the note that, like, Kevin Feige is being spread too thin. Like, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's been doing that for years, though.
Yeah, but there's also, like, infinite number of, like, Marvel Studios production people who should be capable of managing other things.
Yeah, it can't just be like he has to be there for anything to work. Surely there's somebody else qualified in the last 15 years that's been brought in that you're like, oh, you're actually pretty good too. You're kind of like Kevin.
Yeah. Like, you like, I'm all for, like, yeah, Kevin Feige's really, really good at his job and he absolutely knows his shit. But, like, he should be able to say, like, hey, you look after this, and you look after this, and you look after mutants, and you look after this. Like, and that being that's a normal chain of command that would happen in a studio.
Yeah, and then you run it by Kevin every few months. But maybe that's what happened here. Maybe Kevin did put somebody on this. I was like, look, you look after that, you give me updates every few months, let me know what's going on. And then the updates came back and, like, nobody's happy, everyone hates the script is terrible, the director wants to leave, and your main actor also hates the movie and is kind of like regretting signing on.
Like, anytime these stories come out, it sucks because, like, the movie's not made yet and it could be excellent. If it comes out and it's bad, this is all going to be pointed at as being, oh, we should have known. We should have known from everything we heard, you know?
I think it's because whoever comes in, you're firefighting from the start. It's like a poison chalice. Like, you get the movie, but the movie's not anywhere near where it needs to be. So you're kind of coming in and actually, like, making up for mistakes takes way longer than just starting fresh and just working with what your vision is.
Yeah. Now, look, and, you know, there are examples of things working. Like, the first Iron Man, I think there was like 20% of a script for that movie.
But Favreau was on from the very start. He knew what he wanted. Whereas here, you're coming in as a second director. The first director's already been there. It's like, we're going this direction.
Yeah, and then, so you can't...
We're going this direction in a bad way.
Yeah. And even if, like... Yeah, even if you get a super talented director, you don't have the time... Or, you know, maybe the budget to do everything you want to do, because it's already been pre-approved. Like, I would love if, like, you know, get Edgar Wright in, have him take.
He's not coming back.
No, but it did kind of happen with Ant-Man. Edgar Wright was signed on. Then there was creative differences. Peyton Reed came in, and then Ant-Man's fine. You know, it's a fine movie.
That's kind of Peyton Reed did really well to make that fine. Because he's obviously a completely different person. I don't know if that's like breaking news, but they're different people. And so if you've ever come on a project halfway through and somebody else has been doing it, you're like, okay, what am I doing? How do I stick to what they did, but also do some things that I want to do without like making it weird? So I do think this is going to be a strange one to bring somebody else in, especially this soon. Principal photography was meant to start next month, but that's going to have to be pushed back for several months, which is not very good for all of Phase 5 and Phase 6 of the MCU, because it's all lined up perfectly that they weren't expecting something like this to happen.
Is Black Panther the end of Phase 4?
Yes.
Or is it the start of Phase 5?
No, the end of Phase 4.
Okay, so then, right, so we're at the end of Phase 4, which people say was largely the general consensus is that it was kind of aimless and a lot of it felt unfinished. And the first production that's starting after that is without a script and a director at the minute. And
it's meant to come out next November, but it's not coming out next November.
There's not a hope.
They'll probably do something cheeky and swap it with something that was meant to come out in April of 24. Probably just to give it an extra few months.
I'd say so. Like what they did with Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home. Like, just switch the slots in the calendar, basically.
Okay, we're going to move on to another piece of news, Sean, but this is a better piece of news, right? I think it's going to excite you. And I know, you're a bit of a sleepy boy today, so I brought in news.
It's going to be bullshit news that no one cares about.
And my favourite studio, Sony. They're, of course, nailing it. Every single movie, out of the ballpark, home run,
this is
everyone
a really
go home.
tough character to deal with, by the way.
Just emotionally, it's really tough on me.
Just because no one thinks you're being serious is the thing. Everyone knows.
Someone would say, "Stop the bit, Connor. It's been too many episodes." I say, "No. We go harder at the bit.
Commit to the bit. Triple down on the bit."
So it's the reboot everybody has been clamouring for, as Tarzan is getting another reboot planned at Sony, and it'll be a total reinvention for the 21st century.
Do Sony own Tarzan?
They must.
How does that work? That's a famous Disney movie, is Tarzan. Is this the George of the Jungle? Or no, not George of the Jungle.
No, so this
the
is
live-action Tarzan.
Yeah, the live-action Tarzan, not animated Tarzan.
Right, okay. I like... This is just like the way Sony's trying to copy the MCU. This just reads like, they're trying to copy the Disney live-action remake buzz that's been going for the last decade.
So, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Sony is planning a complete overhaul of Tarzan, the character we all know and love, Sean. The massive franchises that are around Tarzan at the minute. A complete overhaul. With their plans being described as a total reinvention of the character and the intellectual property that it is. How do you do a total reinvention of Tarzan?
Yeah. Tarzan's whole thing, orphan boy raised in jungle by gorillas. That's Tarzan. How do you reinvent that? Go ahead.
Everyone else grows up in the jungle. Tarzan, suit man. He's a businessman. He's the only businessman in the world, and he goes to the jungle.
I think you're describing Planet of the Apes.
No, they all come to a little bit of a jungle known as the concrete jungle, Sean. So they all come visit him, and he's raised by computers. And so he's kind of a weirdo. He's a bit like Fassbender in those alien resurrection movies. Like, he's a bit iffy. He's not one to be trusted, and ultimately ends up killing them all one by one in a total alien kind of situation.
Right, but would you not just watch Alien then, if that's what you're after?
It's a reinvention of Tarzan, Sean. I'm really trying for Sony here. They've given me $50 million to come up with this.
It's just a very weird thing to come out straight away and be like, no, we're reinventing it, we're changing everything. Doing Tarzan again, I think, would be more successful than that. Unless they maybe Concrete Jungle and do it that way, or it's set in the far future. And he's from the past, and so he's like a stupid boy, but they're all from the future. That's the tagline. Put that in the poster.
There's also the situation that Tarzan is actually both private and public domain. Sony Pictures purchased the screen rights. Early stories involving Tarzan, however, are technically fair game as they sit in the domain of the public. So anyone can do these movies as well, Sean. Now, we also had, I'm pretty sure Skarsgård was Tarzan in 2015. Pretty positive a live action.
Really?
Don't look at me like that, Sean. He looked at me confused. There's a live action Tarzan movie that came out in 2015 with Skarsgård in it. And maybe 2015, 2016, I'm not quite sure in the year.
Right.
But that was within the last 10 years. But we're getting a reinvention again.
The Legend of Tarzan 2016. What the fuck? Alexander Skarsgård, Margot Robbie, Sam Jackson, Christoph Waltz, Jimon Hansu, Jim Broadbent. What is this cast?
It's a great cast.
I have no idea that this movie ever existed.
Did you miss that? I think what was the release date? I'm sure Wikipedia tells you.
It was 2016.
No, the month.
Oh, it was June. June of 2016.
So it just came out after Civil War. Came out in May.
Right, that
so
might be it.
Nobody was seeing Tarzan.
It had a budget of $180 million. It made $356 million.
It was a massive film.
That's insane.
Yeah. What's the studio on that? Did Sony do that?
That was... Jeez, there's so many fucking... This was Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
So Warner Brothers then had like a string of like... They did Tarzan and then they did that weird Hercules movie.
They actually had a poor 2016 because Batman vs Superman came out February that year.
Oh,
so they went BVS followed by Tarzan.
Just the classic tag team combo.
So Shaun, are you... I mean, first of all, reinvention of this character. Does anyone care? 2, would you go see it if it was possibly a good trailer?
I genuinely don't think so. I'm in the mood at the minute where I'm not putting time into things that I'm not like interested in. So, right. Look, Tarzan doesn't do it for me. Soundtrack to the animated Tarzan movie slaps.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely unreal.
No need to go that hard. No need at all.
Phil Collins just said, nah, fuck it, I'll just change the entire game of soundtracks.
Someone had that in a picture of like the Disney execs going, all right, Phil, we just need a soundtrack. You don't need to go that hard. And then just the piano's on fire. It's like, yeah, I got a little something in the tank.
I can throw something together very quickly.
No, like Elton John with Lion King. There was no need. Lads,
no need.
Just chill the beans. You're fine. Just do it nowadays they would just do like a mediocre job and just like get paid the 50 million. But back then they didn't understand the game. Just coast off your name. Don't be going that big.
Yeah, like don't excel at all. Just be like, get a mid-level. But like, Sony has music. Like, they'll own a lot of music. You know, like they publish a lot of music, so they could use any song they want in Tarzan.
Maybe a bit of Rihanna.
Bit of Rihanna. Bit
Umbrella.
Because Tarzan's in the rain at one point.
Because he's in the rain.
And he wants an umbrella.
And he doesn't have an umbrella. But he wants one. But he's a jungle man.
He is a jungle man, that's true.
He turned in from a jungle boy to a jungle man.
Jesus Christ.
If anyone doesn't remember, The Legend of Tarzan came out in 2016. What a fucking cast. But nobody remembers it. We're getting a live action Tarzan remake from Sony. I can only conclude it's going to be fine. Moving on to it. At best. Moving on. I don't think you can get better in live action with Skarsgård, Samuel L. Jackson, Margot Robbie.
No, yeah, I feel like that movie had every chance to be great. And if that
didn't slap, as the kids say, Shaun, nothing will.
I think, actually, if you get that same movie and just release it again, it'll probably do better this time.
That's so weird. I do think it would.
Because, like, the last 5 years, like, you just Margot Robbie alone. Like, just cut a new trailer, just put it out again.
When was Wolf of Wall Street? 2013, maybe? Yeah, it might be 2013.
2013, yeah.
So, yeah, she was pretty big, but, like, now she's much bigger than she was even then.
Cause she's got Harley Quinn and everything like that now.
Yeah. So we're going to move on, Shaun, to our next piece of news, and this is a piece of news that really confused me. And it also has to do with Marvel. We've got some confusing Marvel news. No DC news. Not
really?
One. All week. It's just pure Marvel. And just like other general news stories. But like, normally we have at least one DC studio on fire somewhere. But nothing's happened.
Marvel's really taking the heat this week.
Just the general chaos that's there every day. Because Marvel's Armor Wars is no longer being developed as a Disney Plus series. Instead, it's going to be planned as a movie.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's... I think I like this, you know.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Now, look, I think it'll be cool to see, like, you know, Rhodey and War Machine, and probably like Ironheart will be in there as well, just armouring about. But a lot of the complaint, because Armour Wars was announced in like the first round of Disney Plus shows, where it's like, we're doing an Armour Wars show. It's happening, or like it was announced fairly close to the start of them doing all of these series, and a lot of those series have the problem where it feels like they could have been a movie and like trimmed the fat. You know, like trim episode 3 and 4 out of it, essentially.
My rebuttal of that would be, though, that of all the series announced, this was the one I didn't want to see the most. In terms of a movie. Like, WandaVision, turn that into a movie. I think that'd be pretty cool. Loki, I think, also very cool. But I've seen Armor Wars with Don Cheadle, and I was like, okay, that's fine. That's the most I probably won't watch it series of all.
But I think they're the idea of having an Iron Man style character in a movie, I think that will sell a bit better and a bit easier. I think they probably want to push Rhodey to the front a bit more, because he has just been in the background for like most of the MCU. I mean,
he was pure anarchy in the last Avengers film. He was like talking about killing babies and all sorts.
I think they just let Don Cheadle loose and just like have fun with it, man.
I also think it's probably used more so as a push of Ironheart. Like,
yes,
this is the big development announcement, like, movie to be like, Ironheart's in the MCU and is like the next big thing over the next few years.
I think so, yeah, and like because we're going to see her in Wakanda Forever coming up soon as well. So I think because also we didn't see Armor Wars mentioned at D23 or anything like that, so it was kind of confusing about like, oh, what's happening with that again? So the fact they're making it a film, I think it'll probably work better as 2.5 hours versus, you know, 6 30-minute episodes spread out over 6 weeks.
I think we might have to disagree on this in terms of I think this would be better as a series. I think it'll make more money as a film than as a series. I don't think it's going to make that much money. I think it's going to add, from my point of view, the MCU at the minute is riding a wave of meh. It's riding a wave of, well, it could be better, but I'm not that interested. Interest rates are probably as the lowest they've been for quite a few years. I don't know if an Armor Wars movie is going to be like, fuck, they're back to their best. Better go watch an MCU film.
Okay, but can I make a rebuttal?
Oh, I'm all about the buts. Go on.
There's one way. There's one thing in my head that justifies turning this into a movie.
Yes.
And that gives the studio confidence that it will do well.
You're going to say something big. Go on.
They're going to bring back Tony Stark in some way.
There's no way
they'll do it. The absolute, like... So what? This movie isn't even in production yet. It's going to come out 2026.
Yeah, probably something
just
like that.
Before Secret Wars.
He's come back as a Skrull. He comes back as a Skrull. That's terrible English. He comes back as a Skrull.
That's Secret Invasion you're thinking of.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
Secret Wars is the like multiverse pulled from all different realities, put them all together.
Oh.
Look, I think we could get like a hologram. Look, we are talking about a story later, and you want to tell me that they're not comfortable with ruining a legacy.
Okay, that's fair enough. But I suppose the logic in that is that's from the future where he dies, whereas we've seen Tony die.
That's fair. That's true. Doesn't mean he's dead. It's like if this was a comic book, right? If they did an Armor Wars run of comics after the death of Tony Stark, abso-fucking-lutely that man is coming back to life.
Every comic book is like, did he die in the last one? Well, he's back. Don't worry about
it. Think of a way to fucking bring him back. I don't know if you're like following the X-Men comics at all at the minute, but it's like canonically there's a thing that Krakoa, the mutants, when they die, they just come back to life on Krakoa. That's what happens now.
Or no, the comic book thing is it was a clone that died. You've seen a clone die. This is the real one. They're alive. Don't worry about it, right? Shut up your fucking face, right? I don't want to see Tony back.
I don't either, but I think they're going to do it.
But you know what? Now that you've said that, the cynical side of me is like, they're 100% having the trailer. It's going to be 2.5 minutes long of like Rhodey doing shit, and then you see Ironheart, and then the ends with you hear Tony's voice. That's the first trailer. You don't see him, you just hear his voice, and you're like a proper Patrick Stewart shit.
Or you hear like you see like the red and gold boot. land.
Yeah.
Like, I like, come on. They'll definitely. I think we will definitely see him back at some point in the future.
I think it's like the snake eating its own tail at this point. You're just like ruining the previous movies by being like, well, we got to pitch this one.
Well, Connor, you're the proponent of those movies still exist. You know, you've always said that on the show. Do you want to take that back, or
I just don't understand why you would do that. I just think it makes it better. Just leave it alone. It's fine.
It is like it. No, it is like I hope, you know, they shouldn't bring him back. But I think that would also justify it being a movie.
Yeah,
because I don't think they'd get him in for a Disney Plus
show. Now that
show.
you've said that, I can't not think that that's the reason why they've turned it into a movie. And I'm just like, yeah, they're definitely bringing it back in some form. Hologram
also,
or real life him?
Hologram would be fucking amazing, because that's batshit insane in the comics that they did that. Now the thing about it is that, and I don't know if this was faked or not, but I saw a thing on Twitter, and apparently Robert Downey Jr. said something about Deadpool, and like, a character coming back from the dead. Imagine that.
Oh, Robert, he's a fucker though.
he will thwart people.
He's got more money than God. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like.
And also, he hasn't been in great movies since he left the MCU. So
Dr. Dolittle. Not fantastic. We're moving on to our next piece of news, Sean, and it involves another reboot, or a sequel, I suppose, from a movie series that was very big in the 90s and is no longer really talked about or cared about. And that is American Pie. With a new American Pie sequel in the works at Universal.
I mean, these movies are fine for the most part. Like, wasn't there an American Pie on Netflix a few years ago? Like American Pie Reunion or something?
The original one, I do know, was made for like $11 million, and it made like $250 million.
That's insane. Also, that like did really well. Like that was always on in Ireland. Like, it was always non-stop. Like there was some movie channel always showing American Pie for some reason.
Yeah, and I think they did release one in 2020 on Netflix, but it did not receive a very good approval rating. It was not very good. But I don't think these movies are meant to be good, and I think the sequels are going to go along the same road. You've just got an inbuilt audience that they're hoping will come back to watch it again.
Yeah, I think that's it. And you're watching it out of like, oh, well, I like the other ones, and then you'll just throw it on and it'll at least be fine. I think the earlier ones have a certain charm to them. Also, a lot of problematic shit in there, but like, you know, it was the time. But like the era of like the parody movie is it still? Is there a market for that anymore? Because
now, what are you talking in parody? Are you saying American Pie, or are you thinking like scary movie, or like Naked Gun?
Yeah, well, like even Naked Gun Naked Gun to me is different than Scary Movie.
Naked Gun is smarter than Scary Movie.
Naked Gun is a very clever comedy, and some of the stuff in Scary Movie is really funny. Like Not Another Teen Movie, like that kind of parody movie.
No, see, they died because they became they went from Naked Gun to like, we're going to churn one of these out a year, and it's just going to be topical on whatever happened in 2007. And we're
like
just going to make jokes about we're just going to make jokes about what happened in 2007, and that's it. Whereas Naked Gun, if it's on the TV now, you're going to watch it. Or Airplane, you're going to watch it because
Airplane is fucking quality.
Like, that's not a joke about like, say, a movie that came out in February of last year. It's like, that's a joke forever. Like, the jokes will still land.
This is just a funny joke. Like, the wordplay is funny, the actions are funny. So like American Pie was kind of I don't even know what. It's kind of a parody movie of like college.
I would say it's more like teen gross out comedy kind of thing. Like, there was a few of them in like early 2000s, late 90s. This was like
Van Wilder and shit like that.
Van Wilder, was there Road Trip? Do you remember Road Trip? There was that one.
Euro Trip, that was one.
There was a load of them that were like, because American Pie, as I said, made a shit ton of money, and they were like, people in
This
their
is
late
it.
teens, early 20s, they fucking love this shit. And then you go too far the other way and everyone's like, oh no, now I'm like 34 and I don't like it. That's kind of a weird concept. I'm not into that anymore.
Yeah, so, and I guess it is nice as well to see like the cast come back and stuff like that. Like, I think they're all
why not?
quite on board.
I do think, though, that they're going to get a very rude awakening when nobody goes to see this. I think this is going to make nobody.
Oh, no, yeah, this is going to die a death, I feel like.
This is going to be like Dumb and Dumber 2. Like, if it was big in 97, it's probably a good chance it's not going to make a shit ton of money in 2023.
But like, you shouldn't have to make, let's do another American Pie. Just make a movie that is like, it's going to be the American Pie of this generation. They're fucking cowards then.
Shaun, I think that's a bigger conversation. We could have a full conversation about saying that, to be like, they're fucking terrifying. They're just like, people like stuff like American Pie. Well, why don't we just put the American Pie name on it, and then we just put a different script out, and it'll be bad.
It just, they have no faith in any original idea succeeding anymore.
And Jordan Peele's just over at the side, just like making fucking bangers.
Yeah, but then you have a bunch of like Jordan Peele attempted copycats come out, and it's like, it's not as good though, is it?
No, it's not as good because you just. Jordan Peele is Phil Collins doing the Tarzan soundtrack.
Yes,
but like him writing original screenplays. So we're moving on to our next piece of news to something that I think is like a pretty cool piece of casting. Thunderbolts is coming to the MCU.
It is indeed.
And we have a bit of a rumour that perhaps Harrison Ford could be playing Thunderbolt Ross in the movie.
Oh, okay. No, he's not. Because first of all, Harrison Ford hates everything and everyone. You think he wants to do fucking Thunderbolt Ross green screen? God help me if he has to do like motion capture for Red Hulk or something like that.
I would say if he comes in, if Ford comes in, it's going to be 2 scenes. He's going to talk to the team or like give a speech, and he's in and out. Because I mean, obviously, sadly, William Hurt passed away in March of this year, and he was playing Thunderbolt Ross. So it's just a case of the team is called the Thunderbolts. He's Thunderbolt Ross. They probably would have want a Thunderbolt Ross in the movie.
That's totally fair, and I totally understand that. Unless like they're named Thunderbolts in memory of him, and he's dead in universe or something like that.
That would make also pretty much sense. Yeah.
I also think if you have like an accomplished aged actor who passed away, I don't think you replace him with a man who's older than he was. Just from a casting perspective, I think that's a gamble. How old is Harrison Ford?
There's a lot unsaid.
Harrison Ford is going to die soon, and they can't get him into a very long contract.
You can't say that.
The man is 80 years old, Connor.
And he hates everything. So much hate. But I think that hate is fueling him. I think he might live to 120. I think he's got another 40 in him.
He's going to finish Indiana Jones, and then he's just going to retire to like a ranch somewhere.
And just tell people to fuck off when they come out. If any like travellers come by his home, he's just like, I need some help. My baby hasn't been fed for weeks. Well, your fucking baby will be fed. Keep going. Go back the way you came.
So, like, I also think, like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't think he's, Thunderbolt. I don't think he is the Thunderbolt Ross that we should have in the MCU.
I can see it. I can see it happening. You know that?
I don't know, man.
I think he comes in and just does 2 scenes. I think if he signs on, they're not making him do any work because he's not signing on for work because he's like, I want to do as little as possible, especially because it's a franchise. I'm not doing a Samuel L. Jackson role here where I'm signing on for 10 films. I'm just here for this one and this one alone, and then I'm out.
That's fair, but I know for a fact that they want to do Red Hulk, right? They want to do Red Hulk so fucking bad. And I don't, like, if you cast Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross in the Thunderbolts, you have to then have Harrison Ford in whatever origin story that they do for Red Hulk. Yeah. And that is going to be a fucking nightmare.
I could see it happening.
Oh no, I hate it so much.
Imagine Imagine having to try and talk him through it and him on the press tour. Just get him in for the press tour because people are like, whose workout routine, Harrison, did you think was the best? Sebastian
Like, if he
Stan or
hates-
Florence Pugh?
If this man hates Star Wars fans, he is going to fucking actually murder MCU fans.
He's like sick of them. He's just like, lads, I'm sick of you.
Because they do all the fun TikTok interviews and they'll be like, which character said this? And he's like, I don't care. I did a job and I got paid. George Lucas ruined my life.
The great interviews you want to watch are him and Gosling when they're promoting.
Oh, yeah. Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, Blade Runner 2049. And it's just fucking hilarious. The two of them are just so deadpan, but they crack each other up in terms of how sarcastic which one of them can be. It's just great stuff.
They're both just not taking it serious.
Yeah, just not taking it seriously at all. So we're going to move on to our next piece of news, Sean. And this is some pretty big news, and I think in any other week would be our big news story. And it is once again based around Marvel. It's been a very strange week in terms of a lot of Marvel news coming out that we kind of have to touch on. I like to kind of only have like one or two, but with the week that was in it, we kind of definitely had to touch on the thing later on.
It's all the major movie news of the week, Connor. It's fine.
And they own all of the movie studios, so what can we do? But Sean, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever star, has confirmed that Namor's mutant origins will be in Wakanda Forever. So Namor,
excellent,
is of course going to be the villain in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and will be played by Tenoch Huerta. I think I'm getting that correct. I could be completely butchering it. But one key attribute of Namor has obviously been hidden very, very well. And that would be the fact that Namor is the original mutant in comic book in the MCU, is he not?
He is. So it's debatable because like technically you had like Apocalypse, who was in like ancient Egyptian times. Namor is technically on a timeline the first published mutant in Marvel Comics because Namor is half Atlantean. So he has Atlantean physiology, he can breathe underwater, that's all fine. He also has little wings on his feet that let him fly, and that's not explained by him being from Atlantis. He can just do that, so he was born
I
with
think
it.
they probably will take that out of the movie.
I think he's going to have little wings. I
just don't think logically that works.
No, but the wings help him to fly, Connor.
Make them fucking littler. Take up little wings. Make them fucking smaller. Not little enough. Go on there now. So obviously if you haven't seen Miss Marvel, there was a thing that happened at the end of that show that you had a na little bit of a line, a bit of a soundtrack in it.
Absolutely.
And it might have sort of introduced the idea that there's mutants in the MCU. So now this coming out has also probably further enhanced that fact, is that Namor is also a mutant in this universe.
Also in She-Hulk, which I know you're not keeping up with, there's a web page. And like on the side of the webpage, it says "man with metal claws involved in bar fight" as like a suggested story. It also says, and I think you would really like this. It's like there's another article, and it's like, why is there a big hand coming out of the ocean?
That's my question. Why is there a big hand?
I do not know, but it seems like they're setting all of this stuff up ready to go. Mr. Immortal was in, or the Immortal Man, he was in She-Hulk this week. He's a mutant. He's just a mutant. He can't be killed. So like they are fluffing it all in. I did hear recently that the way the contracts worked for those original like Fox X-Men movies and like Days of Future Past and Dark Phoenix and all is that all those actors have contracts so that if those characters are portrayed in any film, they have to be portrayed by those actors. And those contracts don't expire until 2025.
Oh, shit.
So it seems like they're just kind of gearing up and seeding things, to be like, oh, and here's evidence of mutants popping up.
Okay.
And then you get the main team assembled after the contracts
after the contracts run out. That's very. It would also be a case of they probably get first refusal to do it. So like it could be a case of like we're putting together the team. Like, would you like to be back as part like Fassbender say? Like you're signed on to 2025. We're going to give Magneto to somebody. Would you like to be Magneto? And obviously he's going to say, no, I probably don't, because I did all those movies before. I was part of that whole different universe, and I don't really want to come back in. And I think it's probably a cleaner cut. You can't just pick some of them and not pick the rest of them. It just doesn't really make any sense.
No, but I also think this is why we're getting the Deadpool Wolverine joint, is because it's the same two actors portraying it. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about those contracts and things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, Namor being a mutant, as you said, I think it's all just set up at the minute. Like, they're properly, a lot of foundation is going in, slowly building this idea up. And I'm pretty sure, like, Elizabeth Olsen was in the news this week, and she was just like, oh yeah, I could do a movie with the mutants. Let me do a movie with the X-Men. Why not?
I mean, yeah.
She's like, Scarlet Witch is a mutant. I could be a mutant. Why not?
Or is she? Depends. Various things happen. Various things happen there.
A small bit of news that I want to get before we get to the big news, Sean. Community movie finally happening at Peacock.
Yeah, I saw this. This is excellent news.
And so the 6 seasons of the movie thing is officially happening, as Peacock has ordered, but the feature film is going to Peacock. They've finally got the rights. NBC Universal. They're ordering Community, the movie, from Dan Harmon, after they won the rights in a competitive situation. So this is 15 years after the series first came on screens, which is crazy.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it gets a wider release than just Peacock. I think Irish Netflix gets a lot of the Peacock stuff that they would have, because we have Community on Irish Netflix and stuff like that, so it would make sense for that to be shown. But I hope it's not just locked off on Peacock, and because it'll end up with it being pirated, which is one of the many reasons that Community was cancelled in the first place.
So the main thing we know, there's probably obviously a lot of questions coming out of this. The one or two big ones we don't actually know the answer to. We do know Joel McHale, Danny Pudi, Alison Brie, Gillian Jacobs, Jim Rash and Ken Jeong are all coming back. They're all locked in. Okay. They're all definitely coming back for this.
So the core cast that lasted until the end, they're all coming back.
More so, McHale, I think, is an executive producer on it. I think
he really wants it to happen.
Yeah, of course. So where the big questions lie are with the next three, and that is Yvette Nicole Browne, who I think they'll probably get. I think she'll. I think
she'll come in. Yeah. She came back in the last episode, I think. For a cameo. So I think she's still friendly.
So then you also have a certain Chevy Chase, Sean.
Not a fucking hope. They killed him. They killed him off. Like, he's gone.
They'd rather not have him. And then lastly, you have obviously the biggest star out of all of them, Donald Glover.
Yeah. I mean, I really want him to come back. I think it'd be odd if he didn't. I think it would, it just, because I know he was written out of the show, but I think it'd be odd to not have him in the movie at all.
I think they will get him. I think it's one of those where, I suppose it's just about scheduling. Like, they literally have to work it around him, I would say. Yeah. Even if you get him in for a day or two. Like, I don't think the movie will be set around him, but fuck me, if you can get him for 3 months, set the whole script around Troy and Abed, and let them be like the main driving force of the story, and then the rest of the team coming in behind, because you kind of have to work off the fact of a lot has changed since 2009, when it was like, this is Joel McHale's show, whereas probably now, like, Alison Brie's in fucking every Netflix show possible that wins all the awards. Donald Glover is there. Like, Jim Rash, I think, has an Oscar now. Gillian Jacobs is killing it in all these shows. Like,
Danny Pudi's on DuckTales.
Like, they could all carry, like, little bits of it now, a lot more than probably they could back then. And they're all much bigger names.
Yeah, I like... The thing is, it's going to have to, like, tick certain boxes as well for fans. Like, you're going to have to do probably a Troy and Abed in the morning bit. Or there's, maybe it's just one big paintball episode again. Like that kind of stuff. Because the show was really creative.
And like Dan Harmon, like even his name, since like 2009. Like, I would just know, the Russo brothers will probably come back and help out on this.
Honestly, yeah. Like, just bring them on it. That'd be so good. That would be so good. But yeah, Dan Harmon's done like Rick and Morty and shit since then. So
and I think Justin Lin, I think he worked on, I'm pretty sure like he's been doing all the Fast and Furious movies. Like he starred on Community as well, and the Russo brothers. So because the Russo brothers knew him and they brought him in from film school and were like, yeah, you come in and direct a few episodes too. Like, it's pretty crazy where they all came from.
It is, and it was like a breeding ground for just very creative production people. So I'm, if nothing else, I'm just happy that it got greenlit.
Yeah.
And like, cause, if it's as bad as season 4, at least it's still Community, and it's just one last.
Yeah, it still came out, and the series still exists. And so we're finishing off Movie Mondays this week, Sean, with the news that I can only assume you were very excited about, and or disappointed, and or mildly okay with. They're the 3 options. We have Hugh Jackman is confirmed as Wolverine, coming back, his return in Deadpool 3.
Okay, first of all, how dare they drop this on a Tuesday? Still pissed off about that. I'm conflicted, right? Because I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I think that's a good character. I'm all for more mutant nonsense in the MCU. I've been talking with some people about this, and just more mutants is always good. So all of that I'm on board with. Logan ended so well that I'm kind of like, I was quite happy if that was the last time I ever saw that version of that character on screen. I said the same thing about Professor X, who also had a lovely end in Logan.
Yes.
And then came back in Doctor Strange, and like that's the last time we saw that character on screen.
And it's probably shouldn't have come back. It's fine.
It's not great. It's not great.
It's like a mild movie.
Overall, I would say I'm excited. And I'm excited for just Deadpool 3 in general. I think, like, even without Wolverine, I'd be excited to have a Deadpool announcement.
See, I think that this is the only card they could have played. I think, like, coming into the MCU, there was a whole bunch of, like, it's Deadpool 3 as well. Like, we've seen Deadpool, we've seen him in the 2 movies, we understand the character. There was some draw, I suppose, to, like, seeing him interact with other people, but all the original people are all basically retired now, other than Hemsworth, and, like, he's probably not going to be appearing in the Deadpool movie. Like, it's not going to be Iron Man and Deadpool. Oh, we get to see Captain America and Deadpool. Like, so
yeah,
the main thing they had was, like, for years we've always just had Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds just talking shit and just being ridiculous to each other, and 2 very charming human beings who are very good at promotion, and they're really good at this stuff. And Reynolds just like dropping this on his Twitter page, just a video randomly, no announcement, no anything. He just drops it, and like, of course it ends, because Ryan Reynolds, I think he has like his whole team, like his whole advertising crew, or like his marketing crew that he like works with specifically them for all of his movies, that they're like so good, like they're the best of the best. And we've seen that with even Deadpool 1, where they released on February 14th just to fuck around. One of my favourite videos ever to promote a movie is the Halloween Deadpool video, where like he's with all the kids in the park, and this is 2 years before, and he's just like shouting at like all the kids about how they gotta be stronger, like they're all the X-Men. And it's so stupid. It's such a silly video that nobody else was doing stuff like that back then. And it was like, oh, this is perfect. This is Deadpool. So I suppose this is like the perfect way to announce it as well, in like a weird way, in this like weird universe that he's created for Deadpool.
Yeah, and like they're like it's I think I don't. Okay, I'm trying to phrase this right, but I think like Hugh Jackman is not going to be the Wolverine in the MCU, the mainline universe. I don't think that's the case. I think this is just a little side adventure they're going on. I've heard theories as well that He's not playing Wolverine. It's just Hugh Jackman,
which would be funny.
It would be funny, but I think put him in the yellow suit at the very least, like comic accurate yellow Wolverine suit. I'll be happy. I mean, what did we get a release date on this? Is it 2024 that they said?
It's 2024 release date. Yeah, it's scheduled for September 6th. So basically, this time 2 years.
2 years. Interesting. I think I like this, but I'm like, oh man, Deadpool though has been the most consistent character, like between movies 1 and 2. Like I would say they're of equal quality. To be fair,
I think 1 is slightly better, but like not by much.
Yeah, so but I don't think it'll take a wild dip like between Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder.
No, I don't think so. I think especially like with the character we've seen, as you said, consistency with this character we've always had. And I think they've just got it from the very, very start. This is who the character is. I do think though, like it's like getting your Christmas present, like it was like we really wanted a PlayStation 2 and we didn't get it the Christmas we wanted it, but like at Christmas next year we got it, and you're kind of like, fuck, I still really wanted it, but I didn't know I wanted it because it was over. I didn't know there was even an option that this was going to even happen.
And like I get how marketing works and you have to build hype for a movie, but like what's the big thing in this movie then going forward?
I think the big thing is just them two. Like, people want to see Deadpool and Wolverine, like, just talking shit to each other.
No, but there has to be a story and a plot, though. Otherwise, that gets real fucking irritating.
I mean, there was a very loose plot in Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, I would argue, had the most
with
plot.
Cable.
With Cable and all that going on, and like the redemption of a child, and
I suppose
your found family, all that kind of thing.
I don't know what they're going to do, but I do like the idea of just them fucking some lads up, like just like the two of them just who can't be killed, like just absolutely butchering through people.
Will it be R-rated? Is my question.
Hopefully, it has to be. I think.
Because like it's Deadpool. Like, and it's like if the first time we see Wolverine in an MCU project is in an R-rated film, that would be insane. Because Wolverine should be R-rated
all the time.
Just on the lethality of the man alone. But it's going to be very strange if this is, PG-13 Deadpool Wolverine.
It's going to turn
even
into
as violent as Logan. Like Logan was R-rated.
Logan was our age, yeah. I do think these two, it's going to be a lot of improv. It's going to be a lot of cursing. I think it's going to be a lot of like, fuck you, like, as they drive along. It's sometimes that can also not be very funny. Like, I don't want to be... It's like a thin line. Like, it's got to be just enough that it's funny, but like not enough that you just let the camera roll and we're like, right, we don't even need to write a script. We're just going to let them improv for an hour and a half. It's like, we probably have some sort of idea of what we're doing here.
Taika, please.
Taika, please.
Give me some structure here.
I don't know. Like, I seen this and I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. I can't wait to see it. And then I was like, does it ruin Logan? But yeah, then they released a follow-up video of like, Logan takes place in 2029, so technically it's fine. The issue is, and I'm sure Hugh Jackman will be absolutely ripped, but I mean, the man does look older than he did in X-Men 1, which we're just like, okay, that's fine. Let's just forget about it.
Yeah, I guess like you set it in like the few years between Days of Future Past and Logan. And like you just have Deadpool interact with Wolverine there, and then maybe just put him back at the end, and then he still dies at the end of Logan.
What if the villain was Scarlet Witch, and they just like went to fight Scarlet Witch, the two of them?
That would be insane. That would be lunacy.
I'm just picking villains that they could fight.
I mean, like, yeah, it's you gotta have someone that scales to both of them as well, and they are both similar enough in power and stuff like that. but or just have him go up against like no one, like no threat at all.
And you need the two of them.
And they're working their way up the tower of Marvel Studios to get to Kevin Feige to get him to put Deadpool in the MCU.
Like you turn into like a Rick and Morty episode, or like a Teen Titans Go to the movies. It's aware that it's a movie, and it's just like them trying to be in a movie. It's, I suppose, but Deadpool can talk to the camera, so he can get away with it. Like, Deadpool has that.
That's true, and who's a good... I'm trying to think of a good villain.
I don't know. I see this news and I was immediately like hyped. I'm like, this is a fucking great idea. And then I was like, how are they going to make this good? I was like trying to logically figure it out with my brain to be like, what if this is bad? Like, what are we going to do?
This is bad? That's going to be awful if this is bad, Connor.
Because we've all just wanted this for so long, and I think this was the golden ticket they needed to get Deadpool, like, smashed into the MCU. He's bringing Wolverine with him. Not only is he bringing Wolverine, he's bringing Hugh Jackman Wolverine with him. And that's, like, the golden ticket. You've got Reynolds and Jackman coming in together as a 1-2 punch.
I just have no idea where this movie's going to go, and that's quite kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's just, but like the first trailer is going to be.
But I also get the sense that they don't have any idea of where it's going to go.
Yeah. No, I think like Ryan Reynolds says in that joke video, he's like, I've nothing. I've no ideas. That's fairly
fair
accurate.
enough, Ryan. It's probably true. I think that's it for this week's Movie Mondays, Sean.
What a week of Movie Mondays, Connor. Would you like me to take us out?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Movie Mondays. We'll be back on Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, Friday with Hero or Zero, and next Monday with another episode of Movie Mondays. Big thanks goes out to everyone over on the Patreon that continues to support the show. Shout outs, of course, to Róisín Chunky Lobes Palmer, Joe Burney, Ryan Technically Fine Evanson, Spooky Waffles, Bones Rattling, Ghosts Wailing, Wolves Howling, David Clarke. Pardon?
I'm scared. Sorry, I was just got a bit terrified there.
It's okay. You got a bit spooked. It's all right. It's all right. David Clarke, Shaun Chuck It in the Wash and It'll Be Grand Jamieson, Dominic, Anna Hjelmroos, Lil Dicky, Funny Observation McGrew, Danny McLaughlin, Lordsmmysh, 2 M's, 1 Y, but not where you think, Sam, Michelle Browne, Michaela Doughty, and Buster. Thank you all for your support. We hope everyone enjoyed the Lego Batman review that we put out on the Patreon there last week. Very, very fun movie, if anyone hasn't seen it. And if you'd like to hear us talk about it, head on over to Patreon. $5 or more a month gets you access to that and everything we've ever reviewed up there. There's also a merch store link below, heroesforhire.ie/shop. Twitter's at Heroes for Hire Pod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Connor Lawler.
I've been Sean Meehan.
I shall see you all next week, guys.